I can have everyone's attention, we'll continue our media availability here at Richmond International Raceway. We are welcoming Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Ford Always Racing Ford, coming off a win here in September. Talk a little bit about returning to Richmond this weekend.
We couldn't come to a better track as far as I'm concerned. This place is a lot of fun. We've had great luck here lately, and with the pressure off for us, I mean, this is really just a fun Saturday night race. So this is great. I'm proud to have Ford Always Racing on the car. The website FordAlwaysRacing.com should have some interesting footage of us wrecking some little Ford cars. It was pretty fun. Ambrose is a maniac. Eric's not far behind, and Ricky Stenhouse is definitely a cheater on as far as go-kart racing goes. But we tore some stuff up and had a good time. So I don't know when that video will be up, but it's probably pretty expensive considering all the cameras we broke. But pretty cool sponsor to have on for the weekend.
All right, we'll open up questions for Carl. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start in the middle here with Lee.
LeeSpencerMotorsport.com. You told the crew that you really felt like you had something to work with out there. What do you think the conditions are, and if it rains, is that going to change the whole ball game tomorrow?
Well, I think so the rain is coming, and if it does in fact rain like it looks like it's going to change the racetrack a lot. And then we've got two races, the second of which is on different rubber than we're going to race on Saturday night. So I think that the first 100 laps of this race are going to be very tough. It's going to be a little bit treacherous. And when I told my crew that, I was kind of putting together how everything went the whole day, thinking about how the race is going to go, and I feel like we have a piece that's going to be good for the second half of the race. This place is so hard to predict what your car is going to be doing at the end. It's taken me 10 years to figure out how I really want my car in practice so that it's good in the race. But I feel pretty good about it. Thanks.
All right, additional questions for Carl? Reed?
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Carl, I wondered if you had seen Steve O'Donnell's comments from Iowa yesterday and what your reaction was to the fact that they are going to go to reduced horsepower and that aero and tires are also on the table at this point.
I could not be more excited that they are considering the whole package. I think when I first heard the horsepower change, I thought, oh man, this is not going to be good. But to read the comments and see the word aerodynamics in there, you guys know how I feel about that. I've worn them out. They roll their eyes when I start talking about less downforce. But I really believe it doesn't matter if we have 500 horsepower. If we don't have aerodynamic influence, it allows Goodyear to build softer tires. It allows the racing to be more dynamic because there'll be guys with old tires, worn out tires. You can race closer. So I feel like if they really approach it the way they say they're going to, it's going to be great. I mean, anything that makes it cheaper to run in the series makes it more competitive. You take the aero part out of it, it makes it better racing, and lets Goodyear work on the tires more. So as a package, I'm really excited about it.
Okay, we'll take our next question to the right over here from Mike.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Carl, you've got one win, but overall, Roush has seemed to be struggling a little bit this year compared to the Toyotas and even the Fords out of Penske's camp. Somebody is backing up a very long way. As your season's going along and you're starting to get into this a little bit more, do you feel like you guys are making strides in the right direction? And how much further do you think you need to go before you're truly competitive with everybody else?
Well, unlike that guy, I think we do have it out of reverse. We are in a forward gear now, which is important, and that's the key. I mean, this sport. What happens from my perspective, the sport moves forward so quickly. You have to move forward at that rate or greater. And if at Roush Fenway, we definitely picked up our super speedway program. We picked up our short track program, but the mile-and-a-half program, which has basically been our bread and butter, so to speak, for a long time, that's not been very good. So we've been working very hard on it. I do believe that for us to have a legitimate shot at this championship, we have to fix that, and everyone is working as hard as they can. I mean, there are a lot of things on the table, and if any of them prove to be the helpful, I think it's only going to be better for us. So as a group, we're working as hard as we can. I believe we have a really good shot at winning this race here. I believe we're fast at Phoenix. We're fast. We're even fast at Martinsville. I mean, we'll probably be good at Dover. We have to be better at the mile-and-a-halves.
We'll take our next question in the back from Chris, then come up to Mike.
Carl, Chris, Catchfence.com. I know Richmond's tomorrow, but looking ahead on deck, can you talk a little bit about Talladega next week and then the new qualifying procedure and the race itself?
Yes, if I weren't in it, I would be tuned in to watch because it's going to be entertainment. I mean, we were talking about it today. The only time that we have had to do that at Talladega was, I believe it was last year, maybe, and we knew it was going to rain qualifying out, so everyone was trying to post the fastest time, and it was insanity. We ended up getting the pole, which was great, but we almost wrecked the race car. And Jimmy and I were talking about that, and we thought, man, we just got to do this, we got to do that. And then he pointed out the fact that we're going to have 3 rounds of it. So I have a feeling it might be more dangerous than the race, from a tearing the race cars up standpoint. So I really don't know what to expect. I'm glad we're not glad we're in the position we're in points, and we've got to win already, because that's going to be interesting.
Okay, we'll take our next question up front from Mike.
Mike Embry, USA Today. If you're in the top 10 with 10 laps to go tomorrow night, how does the fact that you have a win change how you might run those last 10 laps?
Well, it's not just the fact that we have a win. I think it's the big point is that a win will be so important, right? I mean, for us, yeah, we have a win, so we don't have a lot to lose. I mean, we could lose a bunch of points, but basically, if there's a caution, your question was, there's a caution with 10 laps to go. Is that what in the top? Okay, so if you're in the top 10 with 10 to go, sometimes you just can't do anything. I mean, you race your guts out and you can't do anything. But what's going to end up happening is when you get a caution, especially as we build towards the 26th race, you get a caution with 10 or 15 to go or 8 to go. You're going to have a lot of guys staying out. You're going to have some crazy things on restart. I mean, if we're 10th doesn't mean much to us at this point. We want to go for it to get a win. So we will take a bigger risk. I think a lot of people will do that. And I think that's the mindset in the garage, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And so I think that as we get farther along in this, you're going to see that's why I believe there are going to be more than 16 winners. I think there'll be 18 or 19 guys that win, because there'll always be that guy or a group of guys willing to take a chance that really on a given day don't have a shot to win.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Hank.
Hank Kurz with AP. Carl, with all you guys, when you win, talk about how you feel better about your chase chances and stuff, and you're just going to go out and have fun tomorrow night. As we get to like 18, 20 races into this, and you have 10, 12, 14 guys like that, is it going to be just fun mayhem, or
there could be some interesting scenarios, where you've got 3 or 4 guys on the final restart at a place. We've all got wins. We all feel like we're in the chase, and it could turn out a lot like Ambrose, Almirola, Stenhouse, and I in the Ford video I was talking about. So, I mean, I'll tell you what's neat, and I got to give Brian France and the guys credit, because I was pretty vocal about my concerns about this format. But I have, right now, I'm having so much fun coming to the racetrack. I mean, this weekend it's a fun race, and I think a lot of times we have been so focused on points positions and qualifying up front. Doing things we don't. In the past, I haven't had as much fun as I'm having right now. So yeah, I guess it's a long way of answering your question. But basically, I think that it could get pretty exciting. There could be some interesting stuff as we get closer, and people have nothing to lose.
Additional questions for Carl? All right, Carl, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks, guys.